Okay, please stand up, the talents, Jeff Utah, who's game, and the others who actually were part of it. Thank you. Excellent acting, everyone. But thank you for helping us just give them a tidbit of that. So, again, back to the last theme I was sharing about how things are changing and how people are leveraging technology. What we want to cap this presentation with is actually one of the leading thinkers around using technology in engaging your customers. So if you can go, and I'll introduce the last that will speak before lunch to close the opening session. Can we go to... Okay. Oh, before we go to our last speaker. No? So several of the sessions for the CEO Forum, and a lot of you are here, are actually not just going to have a chance to participate by asking a question in the room, being in a workshop group, but we've also introduced something new, which is get real-time polls to just actually try this out with me. So we'll practice on a question. And I'd like you to do this with me. No? I need you to pull out your smartphones, your PDAs. There's a Wi-Fi connection here that's available, or use your 3G, that also works. Please type in that URL. There is going to be a raffle prize of a round-trip ticket from Tiger Asia for 2, no? For the ones that we will draw if you type in. So just simply type in your name, go to this URL, type in your name, and then type in your phone number so we can get in touch with you if you're the winner. So just search the URL. And when you do that, you actually saw this flash earlier by accident. No? But just for practice question, practice question lang. The practice question that you're going to see there is this. No? So we just want to get a pulse of this body of hundreds of industry leaders, what you think about this issue. No? If you probably haven't heard about this, then I don't know where you were hiding under. No? So are you in favor of scrapping the port time? Tiny URL, INL.com/ICC100. Yes, no, or undecided? And then if we guys are ready, can we see, because this can be ongoing, but we want to take a snapshot of the results. Can we take a look at the results? All right, so this is 89% said yes, and 11% said no. Right? So thank you very much for everyone who participated. But that's just a sample. So before we move to the technology speaker, I can go to the next survey, which is this one. So unfortunately, you have to log in again. And type in this time, tinyurl.com/ICCCE2013. These are some of the just interesting questions for us. The ones who are joining the pulse check, and after it's been debated, we get a pulse check. But for this particular plenary, we'd like to try it just before you meet the last speaker to talk about technology innovation. So, industry's growth, is it sustainable? Do you believe live agents will start to be replaced by self-service or automated agent technologies? Yes, no, undecided? Do your organizations use social media analytics to engage your customers? Some of it might not be applicable for some of you. Or do your organizations have a plan to leverage emerging technologies in content? Go to tinyurl.com/ICCCE2013 and please answer these questions, and then we'll also later on announce who's the winner of the raffle for Ticket for 2 by Tiger Airways. Alright, I think I've seen a lot of people already type in. We'll continue to run the survey up to the end, but for this time, okay, so if you can go to the results. Alright, so the first question is sustainable, resounding yes. So a lot of confidence by the audience. Thank you. If you look at with live agents, I think, again, very strong sentiment. No? Your organizations use social media analytics to engage. That's very, very interesting. No? Over half. This is good for our next paper as a baseline data. And do you have a plan to leverage there? So again, very heartwarming. It's actually about 90%. So that's really your participation, your poll, and will you see more of that in the CEO discussions to happen tomorrow. So give yourselves a big round of applause for helping us go through this. And then finally, I turn you over to talk more about how he's actually been in the forefront of leveraging technology for, I'd like to introduce, he's currently the Chief Digital Officer of ABS-CBN, and right before that, a couple of months back, he was the Chief Innovation Officer of Macan Worldwide Philippines. He was also the founder and president before of Yehey Corporation. Please welcome Dr. Donald Lim.
Your conferences for the past many years, and before lunch, I know it's a bit challenging, but I'm going to take you through. Benedict asked me to talk about technology, but as many of you who know me, I'm not an IT person, so I'm going to talk about technology without talking about technology. Right? My background has been with marketing and with business strategy, and I'm going to take you through a project that I did with one of your members. In my stint with Macan, I left Macan 3 months, Unilever, to Coca-Cola, to Nestle, and among many others. And we saw that there's an opportunity there, and we feel that you can find a niche servicing social requirements of brands. Give me a second. So what I'm going to take you through in the next 15 to 20 minutes, and hope you bear with me, is how technology, what I think, how it would impact your business, now, the call center business. Whenever I start my presentation talking about future and technology, I always start my presentation with a phrase coined by Herman Kahn. He is an international futurist, and he talks about surprise-free futures. What are surprise-free futures? These are much anticipated shifts that never arrive on schedule. People convince themselves that it would not arrive. He talks about the fall of communism and the rise of China being a surprise-free future. That 10 years ago, people were saying, actually in the 1990s would be awakened, and yet many of us know that will happen, but they did not prepare for it. Come the year 2000, everyone is now rushing to try to set up their offices there. In the business front, he talks about the biggest surprise-free future. This is the future everyone would converge towards, and yet how much have we really our business towards this big thing? Why have not what I call digitized their companies yet? And why is that great divide? What is that great divide? It is those who know what that is, what that picture is before. And what is that? It's a card catalog in the library. Those who have used it before in school, and those who have been it with scratch paper. Those who were born 1984 down are what you call digital immigrants. They were born and they know what this device is. They know the connection between the two things that are up there, right? A cassette and a pencil. They've tried and, well, they did actually use a typewriter. And for the girls, their childhood crush was this guy. These are what you call the digital immigrants. They were born during the time of all of these, the time of WordStar, among many other things. And the internet immigrated to the internet. Those who were 1984 down are what you call digital natives. When they got into awareness, the internet was there, right? And even today, when you look at the digital natives, the technology to them is literally native to them. In the 1990s, when we bought a cell phone, we would always look for the manual because we would have to know where's the power, where's everything today. And which is why this cannot be very tech savvy. And have we prepared our companies for that? Digital has been reshaping, what Benedict said, disrupting many business sectors. If you look at the banking sector, this used to be a picture of the bank in the 1950s, 1960s. And even today, actually, some banks look for one of the biggest banks here. And I was telling them, the banks in Europe have converged and have changed already. This is not the new image of the bank. In fact, some of the banks, it's called tellerless, and you just have pods where you engage with the bank personnel. What they're also saying is that later on, banks would soon look like bars or coffee shops. So you don't transact there. Everything has to be done online. But you go there, you ask a question, you will drink coffee with them, and you go back and the sale is made. Right? So this is Deutsche Bank in Germany, and like what I've said, it looks like a bar, so you go there and just drink alcohol, and then once you get fuzzy and all that, they give you a sale. Right? and it's